when your dog eats grass, it can be a little aggravating to their stomach. I would avoid that with the dogs. If you have a dog and a cat and you're not sure which one to give them, I'd recommend the olive oil.
Hey, I'm Dr. Ruth Roberts, the original holistic pet health coach, and with me today is the amazing Jess MacNaughton from C60 Power. Now, if you don't know this company and you don't know Jess, you really should. She is a trailblazer in health innovation. She's been serving as the CEO and the co-founder of C60 Power. She has been able to demystify information and challenge conventional wisdom, bringing forth effective and accessible wellness solutions fueled by her deep passion for transformative health. Under her visionary leadership, C60 Power has become the #1 leading advocate for health enhancing properties of carbon 60. And after experiencing a significant personal health improvement from incorporating carbon 60 into her daily routine, in 2017, Jess, alongside with Ken Schwartz, embarked on a mission to share these benefits more broadly with the world. Their company specializes in anti aging products that combat inflammation, enhance mitochondrial health, and fortify immune function and boost overall energy for both humans and their pets. So that's why we're here today, because golly, do our pets need some help? We're seeing them struggle with so many of the same issues that we do as humans. Jess, welcome. Awesome to see you.
Thanks, Ruth. I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for the opportunity to connect with you live.
Right on. And it's fun. It's been a while. So before as we start to jump into this, can you start by telling us a little bit about what inspired you to get involved with C60 Power? How did that start happening?
It was accidental, honestly. A friend of mine introduced me to Ken Schwartz at the time, and he had an idea about C60 from some research he was doing. He actually was quite upset about what had happened with Fukushima and all of the toxic radiation that was getting dumped into the Pacific Ocean. And he had an awareness. He's a biogeochemist, and he had some awareness about some studies that had been done in Japan in the 1950s, where scientists were trying to prove a more efficient form of nuclear fusion. So I have to tell a little bit, I have to go back in time in order to bring you forward into how I got involved. But the main idea was Ken really had a chip on his shoulder about the devastation to our environment, specifically around radiation pollution and how that was affecting our food supply, specifically on the West Coast. So, all this radiation after Fukushima is dumped in the Pacific Ocean. It's affecting the fish and the marine life. And consequently, the radiation is affecting all of the food supply along the West Coast. So, you can think oysters in Canada, all the way down to farms and winery and milk and cheese on the West Coast and all the vegetables. And he had this idea that there was a more efficient form, and he knew about tests that had been done in the 1950s out of Japan. And so the core issue with those tests, though, were that the scientists died from radiation exposure. They didn't protect themselves efficiently. Now, here's where C60 comes in. C60 was theorized. It's this molecule you can see behind me on the screen, or I've got a molecule right here. It was theorized in the 1970s by a futurist and architect by the name of Buckminster Fuller. That name may or may not ring a bell, but essentially he's the guy that invented the geodesic dome. He had this idea, and I don't know where he got this idea, but he thought that there would be a molecule that would exist that would have profound medical and wellness benefits for humanity. So, lo and behold, in the 1980s, a group of scientists out of Rice University discovered C60 accidentally. And in the mid 90s, they won a Nobel Prize for their work in chemistry. Discovering C60. Now, when they first discovered it, this is a long story, and I'm going to take you on a journey, but I'm going to bring it all back together, Ruth. It's the weave. So what happened was when they first discovered it, they thought there might be some industrial applications purposes, like maybe perhaps they could put it in solar panels. It would make them work better. So they needed to test it. And so they've done a tremendous amount of tests with animals, specifically Wister rats, which are wimpy rats, and they're genetically modified to have a short lifespan. But they tested C60 with these Wister rats, and what they discovered was at no level was C60 toxic. The other thing that they discovered was that C60 improved the lifespan of these test animals by more than 90%. And it did that by basically eliminating their age related tumors and cancers that they would get. So that was very profound. That was one of the first animal studies that really sent shockwaves through the industry. But then they did some experiments with C60 and radiation. And they gave one group of rats C60 and one group of rats no C60, and they blasted these rats with insane doses of radiation. The C60 rats lived. Okay. So now back to Ken. He had heard about these tests, and his idea was he really wanted to move forward with his research project to prove out this fusion test. And he thought, I'm going to experiment with C60. I'm going to get my hands on some. I'm going to figure this out, and we're going to do some research, because he wanted to prove that there was a more efficient way to do this that wouldn't harm humanity and marine life and all of our food supply. So he got his hands on some C60, and he and an associate on his team and some other folks, they were utilizing it for a significant period of time. They went through their tests, everyone lived, their tests were successful, research successful, nobody died. But surprising, during this experience, Ken went to his optometrist. He had dry macular degeneration at the time. And his optometrist, after about 7, 8 months of use, his optometrist was like, "What happened? What are you doing? Because it's gone and there's no cure for this." And he was like, "I'm doing this one thing." His research associate had wet macular degeneration, actually had lesions on the back of his eyes. And after a year and a half of use, he also made some lifestyle changes because he had type 2 diabetes, and he really wanted to go after that. And so he made healthy lifestyle choices to change his diet. He started exercising every day and measuring everything. But after a year and a half, that issue went away as well. So at that point, Ken was like, "Hey, we've got something here." So he started sharing it with some friends in the Denver metro Boulder area. Around that time, our paths crossed. One of his friends shared it with me. I didn't know what it was. I was super suspect of it. I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. Ken explained it to me at nauseum, and it just went, honestly, it went right over my head. I was like, "I don't get it." But he kept pestering me, and he kept bugging me, "Just try it, just try it, just try it." And I was like, "I don't really want to try it. I don't know what it is." But I finally did. And it took me a minute, some time to incorporate it into my daily routine. It was very simple for me. I just put it in my coffee. Once I started to do that, for me, what happened was that my chronic seasonal allergies were not bothering me. I used to run around with a Kleenex under my nose all the time. That wasn't happening. I was living in Colorado because I love to hike, bike, and ski and all the great outdoor things that people do there. But I was really allergic to the grasses and the trees in Colorado. So that was problematic. But those things just seemed to, they didn't completely disappear, but like the significance of my allergic reaction was quite tamped down. And so I was like, "Huh, that's interesting." And then my really extreme PMS symptoms seemed to go away. My hair started to grow, my nails started to grow. And the biggest thing was that all of a sudden I had expanded bandwidth. And I would describe that it feels like your synapses are firing appropriately. Like the days when you're in the flow and life is throwing chaos and stress at you and problems and this and that, and you're just like, "I got it. I got it. I know how to handle it." So at that point, the company was in its infancy. Quite frankly, there was no process and procedure manufacturing. We came together because he needed help to operationalize everything, and that's how our story. It really was accidental. This was not my background. I had always been a health and wellness enthusiast when I was like in my early 20s. I studied anatomy and physiology. I was a massage therapist when I was very young, but I spent a year in commercial real estate, and my background was business. And so it was an intersection of where business meets science, and it was novel, and I really started out just helping him get it off the ground, and one thing led to another. And once I we started to receive what I call love letters from our customers, heartfelt, on the daily basis, stories of change and transformation for people and their pets. It was quite profound. And the stories are across the board, because anytime someone's dealing with chronic inflammation or their pet is, C60 can be productive.
It wow, that's a heck of a story. And that's the thing, is that every living being in this world, we're suffering from all of the stuff that we've put out there and polluted our environment with. So This is part of why I really love this supplement for dogs. Tayo's here with me.
Oh,
She's
hi.
not super keen on lots of supplements, but she will take this. And for her, she's tiny. It's 5 or 6 drops in her food every day. And it's made an enormous difference for her and for other pets as well. So thanks for that
Far
into
out.
what
It's
C60
a
is.
pretty far out story.
Right on. And Buckminster Fuller, he truly had an obsession with this type of design. And he iterated it into many different things, and brilliant man for sure. In terms of there's so many supplements out there, but what makes this different when we start thinking about our pets and how it's going to support them?
Yeah. Some things to note about C60 is its unique cage-like structure. It looks like a hollow soccer ball and it has 60 tiny atoms. It's just a molecule of carbon. What it does is it works at the cellular level to lift the oxidative burden. What does that mean to normal people? It
Yeah.
neutralizes oxidative stress and free radicals and it turns it back into a water product at the cellular level. But again, what does that mean? You can think about oxidative stress and free radicals as little agents that contribute to aging. You can think about it as rusting inside of your cells. Inside every single cell, there's a mitochondria. You might remember this maybe from 8th grade science. But inside the mitochondria is it's the powerhouse, it's the energy of the cell. And C60 helps support the mitochondria. You can think about it as something that sweeps out cellular junk. It neutralizes it, it cleans it out, and it helps create an environment in the cells where the body can heal itself naturally. It's been characterized as one of the most powerful antioxidants known. It's hundreds of times more powerful than a conventional antioxidant like vitamin C or vitamin E. And the thing that's unique about it is that it's not toxic at any level. If you took a bunch of vitamin E, you'd have to be very careful. You could get sick. You could actually die if you took too much. With C60, you can't overdose on it. So, as it relates to our pets, it's very simple to see how it supports them, and you can see it in a short amount of time. Because the cool thing with pets is because they don't talk to us, there is no placebo effect. You'll notice in a short amount of time, you're mentioning you're adding some drops to your pet's food. It's very easy. Put it on every time you feed your pet, put a little bit in their dog food or cat food, mix it in. It's very simple. We manufacture healthy products, which are made with 99.99% pure sublimated C60. So there's no toxic solvents involved in the manufacturing. And then we infuse it into healthy carrier oils. So these are organic extra virgin olive oil, organic avocado oil, or organic MCT coconut oil. And you can just put a few drops or a dropper full into your pet's food. On the side of the label, we have notes about the dosage. It's based on the age and weight of the pet, but you should be able to notice in a very short amount of time better energy with your pet, better mobility, and it can help support longevity as well. The thing is, most people will probably notice more puppy like or kitty like energy within a short amount of time. I describe that as like when your older dog gets the zoomies and they're putting their paws down and they're playing with you like they would when they were 2 or 4 years old and they want to get into a little playful situation. We notice that a lot. For pets that have joint aches and discomfort, will notice more mobility. It's easier for them to jump up on the couch or go up and down the stairs, or maybe for cats, it's jumping up on your counter. Hopefully, they're not getting into your dinner, but you'll definitely notice an improvement in the energy, oftentimes in the cognition as well, because C60 is supporting the mitochondrial function and it's helping to tamp down chronic inflammation. It's also helping to address an overreactive histamine response. In many animal studies, C60 has been proven to help keep that overreaction of the mast cells in a histamine response at bay. So you're not going to have, if you've got a dog who's gnawing on his little paws or licking or scratching too much, in as the seasons change, spring and fall, oftentimes they'll get a little hot spot. C60, you can add it to their food to keep that histamine response at a balanced level. And if they've got a little hot spot, you can actually apply it topically as well. It's been proven in topical applications to be supportive for the same thing. So it's like You can buy a small bottle and use it internally and externally as well to get the benefits.
Right on. And I think that's the thing. If we can support those three things, improving energy, improving mobility, the longevity is going to come with it. And that's exactly it. We know that the mitochondria are so critical in functioning and keeping us and our pets feeling better. And where are there lots of mitochondria? In the brain, in the heart, in the liver, in the muscles. So if all of those organelles get happy, the cells get happy, your dog feels happier, your cat feels happier. It's just been a blessing to see this. One of our coaches, Michael Daly, has a cat, Nemo, who is now, I think, 18. When he started using C60 for Nemo, and this is probably 4 years ago now, Nemo would sit at the bottom of the bed and be like, and they finally got Nemo steps. And so he was using that to get on the bed. Michael looks around about, I don't know, 2, 3 weeks after they've started C60, and Nemo just jumps on the bed. So that is pretty profound to see that. So
That's not an uncommon story, especially with our aging pets. It's not as easy to detect in a younger pet because they already have that youthful energy. But for those of us who are very attached to our pets, the older that they get, you want to do everything that you can to help prolong their life, but and not just prolong their life, but improve the quality of their lifespan as well. I have a Jack Russell who's 7 years old, Peaches, and previous to Peaches, I had another Jack Russell, Pumpkin Rascal. She was truly part of my heart, maybe my soulmate, my little puppy. And she died. She died at 17. I wish I Pumpkin passed before I had any awareness of C60. I so wish I would have known about C60 when Pumpkin was on the planet because I really believe she could have lived a few more years longer. She ended up dying of a brain tumor. And had I been able
ah,
to give her C60, I might have been able to, years early get in front of that. I would have loved to be able to provide that to her. I just didn't have the awareness. So that's the really exciting thing about where we're at right now with awareness and new information coming out about products like carbon 60 and discoveries. We're on the leading edge. We're on the cutting edge. And even though we're nearing 30 years since its discovery, it's been relatively suppressed intentionally because it's natural and it works.
that's shocking.
I know. I won't say
Yeah.
much more, but you can read between the lines.
Yep. So if somebody's got an older pet, maybe they've got some sensitivity, some health issues, what's one of the best ways to start in terms of introducing this supplement without creating any issues? Or have you seen issues with it going fast?
Great question. It's very simple. For cats, you can give them any three of the flavors. For dogs, we recommend either the avocado oil or the extra virgin olive oil. The MCT coconut oil is in the grass family. Technically, coconuts are in the grass family. So, you know what happens when your dog eats grass? It can be a little aggravating to their stomachs. So I would avoid that with the dogs. If you have a dog and a cat and you're not sure which one to give them, I'd recommend the olive oil. Just put a little bit in their food. Our dog likes all three, but I tend to give her the olive oil or the avocado oil. But you just put a small amount, a dropper full, into their food. And if you have cats, they will let you know if they like the flavor or not. Cats are,
Yes.
they'll let you know. My dog right now, she will bang her bowl when it's time for C60 in the morning. If I'm busy, I'm on a Zoom like this, or I'm in a meeting and I'm not aware of the time, she will let me know it's time. So it's very simple, just incorporate it into their food. You can start with a small amount and gradually increase, but the pets don't need much. And so even though C60 is expensive, you're giving it in a very small amount. And I think that you will notice within 30 days or less an increase in that energy and some mental clarity. You'll also notice better movement with your dogs that have mobility issues. And oftentimes we get feedback about a change in the quality of their hair or their skin. We've got lots of stories about cats that have had skin issues or hair loss, and then their coat comes back thick. Any type of histamine or allergy issue that they've been dealing with, it resolves itself because you're really giving Again, you're giving the body support at the cellular level inside the mitochondria. And then all of the other things that you're doing, I'm sure you're always coaching your community on natural choices. And if you're out at the park or something, to wash your pet's paws off after they have exposure to maybe a grass that's been sprayed with chemicals or something like that, just before they start chewing on their feet. But taking care of your dogs and cats with a little bit of extra cellular support, like I said, there's no placebo effect with pets. So you'll know in short order if your pet likes it and how they respond to it. It'll be very obvious to you.
Sweet. And so, one of the things that we're going to talk about today, because I think this is such a fantastic product, it's easy to give. I like the avocado oil because it's got a very innocuous taste. But one of the things that we're going to talk about is the 30-day challenge. So, Hannah's put some links up there to this chart. I'm going to share this really quick. But this is a way for you to know, hey, is this working? Is it not working? And all you're going to do with this is just think about, okay, here's my first day. And where's my pet's energy level? Where's my pet's mobility level? Is there any itching or skin problems going on? Are there any fur problems that are occurring? And just mark that as your starting value. Okay, oh, golly, she only got up 3 times today and just to go pee, and that was it. So that's going to be a score of maybe 2, and then so on and so forth. And then every day, just see, where are we? Are things getting better? Are they the same? And what I think you'll see is that over 2 to 3 weeks, you should see a very marked improvement in this, in all of these things. The most important things: energy, mobility, and longevity is a great word, but I think health span is an even better one, where you're seeing them feel better, feel well, and enjoy life more. And to help support you in this, we have an incredible discount going on right now in the store, so you can go check that out too. But you can grab this download from that link right on and go check it out, because I think this is going to be, there's so many supplements out there, but this supplement can do so many things just in one bottle. So I think it's just been critical. So that's the wind up. But what with your customers, you've got so many people that have used this for themselves and for their pets. What's your favorite story from your customers, one of your customers?
Man, there's so many. My favorite stories are just the ones where we've gotten feedback from dog owners, dogs that are 14 years old, who basically get a new lease on life and they're able to live for a few more years. They had been lethargic before, and with the incorporation of C60, within a few months, they are running, playing, they're happy, they're exuding joy. And personally, I think that there's nothing better than a dog smile. Like a dog that's running around that smiles. That's just, stop it. That's the best thing on earth. So,
Right on.
yeah, plenty of those stories. And I'm excited because, Ruth, I think that measurement and tracking is critical, because you can notice a change, but if you're not writing it down, you might forget because you're busy, life is busy, and we all are juggling way too many details in life. So this is a really simple thing to do. People can grab your 30-day challenge, they can print it up, they can write it down, they can just stick it on their refrigerator and make a little note every day. The thing to note too is that the creation of our Pet Power line really came based from our customers. It is the same quality of oil that our people are taking, that our customers are taking. We just were inundated with questions. Can I give this to my pet? And we're like, absolutely, you can give it to your pet. And so know that you're getting the same high quality products as our people get. And all of our products are third party tested. You will be able to scan a QR code and go directly to see the third party tests. They're tests for quality, for safety, for efficacy, and for the bioavailability of C60. So we're not,
Amazing.
you'll know exactly what you're getting. You can see all that online.
Sweet. So here's an interesting question. Rushandra's asking about her 8-year-old rabbit. And so I don't know if you've had this question come up before, but
Yeah, you can absolutely give it to rabbits. You can give it to all pets. You can give it to horses. The only note I would say is if you have a bird, don't give the bird the avocado oil. That's all. Give the bird another flavor. But yeah, actually did a study where they used rabbits and they gave rabbits arthritis. This is sad. It's a test animal story. So I'm sorry for those of you with a soft heart. Have but it's necessary in science to do this. But they gave a test animal, the test rabbit, arthritis, and C60 helped to resolve the arthritis issue. Again, more back to the conversation around how productive it is. If you guys want to geek out on the science and the research for animals, specifically with C60, we have a great resource for you. You can go to whatisc60.org. Again, whatisc60.org. All of the animal studies are listed there, and you can click on the links and dive down into it, and you can see all of the benefits for pets and animals there. But yeah, absolutely feel free to give it to your cute little bunny rabbit.
Awesome.
Under
And
5
so,
pounds, I'm sorry, under 25
yep.
pounds is just 1/4 of a teaspoon, so it's not very much.
No, that's super awesome, Nisi. Cool. So, if we've got pet parents on here that have been doing a lot in terms of holistic care, and we all have these sort of basic starting points for when we're new to things. And so for you, obviously you would say, okay, yeah, start incorporating C60, but are there other changes that you often suggest, or you just leave that to other folks? That was a double-sided question.
I'm sorry, Ruth, I think my Wi-Fi might have just had a blur. Can you or a little hiccup. Can you repeat it for me one more time because it just cut out on my
A-
end?
Absolutely. We all have suggestions for pet parents
Oh,
when they're
no.
just starting down their journey for holistic health. Is that your internet or my internet or who knows? Technical issues, the bane of our existence. So what I'll do while
Okay,
Jess is
one more
hopefully
time.
coming back. You there? Okay, good. So for pet
Yeah,
parents that are reaching out to you
yeah.
about C60, do they also often ask you about what else they could be doing in terms of holistically supporting or where else they should get started?
Oh, that's a great question, but I don't have your level of expertise. You're the holistic pet expert, not me. So I'm not a doctor and I would not sit here and give medical pet advice, but I would say based on what I my own personal observation with my own life and my own health is that healthy lifestyle choices are critical. So I would say focus on healthy nutritious food for your pets. And if you can afford products that are filled with whole foods rather than highly processed chemical foods and you actually know what's in those foods, go that route. I think like with people, with animals, daily movement is important, clean water is important. So exercise, exposure to sunshine, and mitigating or limiting chemical toxins and exposures in the environment to the best of your ability. We live in the most toxic world we've ever lived in, and we're all inundated. We can't escape this, from plastics to microplastics to toxins in the air, in the water, in our food supply. So anything that you can do to limit that toxic burden on your pet is critical. But I would definitely lean to you and your advice. I ask you all the time, what should I do? Because I am not a veterinarian.
Right
But I,
on.
I think healthy
No,
lifestyle choices for people and our pets is critical. And we all want to enjoy a great quality of life throughout our life at every age. We want to be as healthy and as vibrant and as energized as we can. And that's the key thing about C60 is it really helps with that energy and that cognition. And that's so important for our pets.
amen to that. And I think that's exactly it. We can go through lots of details, but ultimately it's about what you don't put into the body and what you help the body take out. And so all of the things you mentioned, the exercise, the clean water, the mobility, the getting out on the ground helps to move all of those things, those substances we don't want in us or our pets. And then we can use things like C60 to help clean up even further and mitigate the disruption that these disruptive oxygen species make. So it's just an amazing combination of things. So If you'd missed it, there's a download that you can go click on this link and grab that C60 30-day calendar and start tracking. How is your pet responding? And the other thing is head over to the website, go pick up a bottle of C60. We've got the avocado oil base there, and it is just an amazing product. And we have a heck of a deal for you at this point, too.
Avocado is the
And
easiest
Deborah,
to digest. So I think that's really for people and for pets, I think that's a great place to start. If people they ask me which one, it's really just based on your flavor preference, but avocado is the easiest to digest.
right on. And so Debbie is asking, can you use this for people? And Debbie, darn Skippy, this is where this was born out of, was people that were using this supplement were like, can I get this for my pets? So let me find that link for you too. But that's one of my daily routines, and it has made a huge difference.
Debbie, I'll mention
So
to you, um, for human use, it's a teaspoon up to a tablespoon a day if you were to use the same amount. This technically, this size for a human is less than a 2 week supply if you're following that protocol. So you can buy it, let your share it with your pet, but you won't you need to as a human you need to try it for at least 30 days, so you'll need to buy if you're intending to use it for yourself and your pet. Why don't you buy 3 bottles, save one for your pet and take 2 for you so you at least can try it for a month. But I would recommend that. But yeah, you can share it.
right on. And that's it. And just print 2 copies of that tracker, one for you,
Yeah.
one for your pet, and then you'll see the difference at the end of 30 days. But that definitely was a game changer, especially when I'm doing a lot of traveling, that kind of stuff. It really helps me stay a lot more focused and present. So it's been amazing. What else? What else should we tell folks? I think we've
Supportive
got a bunch.
for immune function. We mentioned that it can help keep the allergies at bay, but wildly supportive for immune functions. So Debbie, you were just on. If you're a person who travels a lot in your work, if you're around a lot of people doing coaching and just exposure at the airport, change of seasons, it's wildly supportive to helping your immune system stay strong so you don't get sick in the first place. If I start to feel like I'm getting a tickle in my throat, a cough or a sneeze or something like that, I double up on my dose of the avocado oil and I just get in front of it. And usually within 24 to 48 hours, I notice a real strong shift. I take it every morning. I put it in my coffee. And if I don't do coffee, I'll put it in a smoothie. But I think for those of you that travel that are around a lot of people, maybe you're a teacher, maybe you work in the general public, but if you're around a lot of people, you want to keep your immune system strong, your energy levels high, and make sure that you're getting exposure to sunshine and fresh air throughout the day.
Right on. And she's caregiving for her parents too. So
Oh,
she's
yeah,
kind of
it's great for your parents too. So, Debbie, you probably should get 5 or 6 bottles and give it to mom and dad. I'm also in the same camp as you. I'm a guardian for my mom who unfortunately has Alzheimer's. And so caretaking for parents it's a really critical job. So kudos to you, but it's also exhausting mentally, emotionally, and physically on us. So those of us that are in that phase of life where we're caregiving, whether it be for aging pet or for an aging parent, you have to prioritize your own health. And it's like that analogy about when you're in the airplane, you got to put your own mask on first before you help somebody else with theirs. Make sure that your immune system is robust and strengthened first so you can have the energy to keep on doing the amazing, loving work that you're doing. So thanks for taking care of your parents. That's cool.
right. And that's the cool thing too, is
Yeah.
because it's relatively tasteless. If you're making smoothies for them or something like that, this is really easy to incorporate into their daily routine as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Right on, Rashandra. So there's a lot of us in this boat, right? We're the women that are taking care of our parents, so we're
Thank you,
paying it
ladies.
back,
You are earth
paying it
angels.
forward.
All of you are earth angels. It's rare. Like a lot of people will opt out and they'll choose not to take care of their parents or a family member, but we have to lean into this. It's what we're here to do.
Right on. Just like we do with our pets.
Yep.
We're here because we have a responsibility to the other living beings on our planet.
Mhm.
And
I
if
agree.
we don't do it, it is tough. And I'm so sorry to hear that, Deb. I know she had a lot of older dogs and she just lost her last buddy on Monday. So
Oh, I'm
hearts are
sorry.
with you, sweetheart. Wow. All right, cool stuff. Go download the 30-day calendar so you can keep track. Make it super simple. One, two, three, four. Energy, mobility, skin, hair coat. How are they right now? Scale of 1 to 10. Then the next day, same thing, mark it, keep following. So it'll take you 40 seconds every day, maybe. So by the end of the month, you're going to see this is working. Oh my gosh, wow, is this
Mhm.
really working? And prove it to yourself. And more importantly, your dog will prove it to you. Go check it out. We've got just amazing deal for you on this right now. Part of our moving sale, we're moving warehouses, and so you can benefit. Go check it out. These are 2-ounce bottles, so they will last your kitty for a long time, last you for
2 weeks.
a couple of weeks, and that's about it. I'm chugging through them every couple of weeks, and it's great stuff. So go check it out. Jess, thank you so much for your time today. It's been amazing as always, and we will see you guys next week. Take good care. Give your puppies and kitties a big hug for us. Thanks.
Thanks, Ruth.
My